right, here we go. Last one. Now we're going to talk about the reasoning of the court. So this one is a little more involved. It's going to have the most meat of your whole case brief. So let's look back at the case for just a minute. And actually, in this particular case, it could be very short. You could actually probably do 2 lines or something like that and have the reasoning of the court case. Because when we just talked about what the issue and the decision was, we talked about that black letter law that I pointed out, the sentence that starts with, "It is the general rule that." I love it when courts do that, because that actually usually means, like, pay attention to this. It is the general rule that. That's not always how it works, but that's pretty helpful. So in that sentence, it actually not only gives you kind of the answer to what the issue question posed, but it also gives their reasoning. Although they relied on several cases, or basically they distinguished several cases that the lower court had relied on, they said a contract for building construction will not be specifically enforced because, so let's use that because, and we can make it really simple, because ordinarily damages are an adequate remedy, number 1, ordinarily. And so we're going to use our blue for that, which I realize is in the black section, but you're going to do after the because. Ordinary damages are an adequate remedy. And number 2, in part because of the incapacity of the court to superintend the performance. So I don't know if you understand that part of it, but think of it this way. If you had somebody come and do work in your house and they did a really, really shoddy job, and then you were in court about it to either get damages or have them come and fix it, would you want that same contractor who did really, really shoddy work in your house to come back and try to fix it without anybody else to oversee that they performed correctly? The court doesn't have a chance to do that. They are not able to come out to your house and make sure that they do exactly what the contract says to the letter. Nobody really has that ability except you. And you are probably better off taking the money and hiring somebody else and paying them that money to fix it. So in general, that's what the court is saying. They can't really be in charge of making sure they do it right. And if you have a contractor who did it wrong in the first place, you're probably better off in a breach just saying, how about you pay me the money so I can hire somebody else? So that is the basics. You could add a few more things if you would like to understand the cases a little better. You can add a little more about what how they distinguish the cases. They did say that the Schmidt case and the Pennsylvania Railroad case, they talked about how in those cases they order specific performance, but there was no adequate remedy at law. Remedy at law is going to be your damages, right? Your compensatory damages. So there are some other things that you could add in, but the basic reason that the court used was because there's an adequate remedy of law, and because the court can't just come in and make sure that they do the contract correctly. So we have basically gotten through the whole case. I hope this was informative. I am going to write up what I've said in what I think the brief would look like after doing this analysis verbally to you. I'm going to write it up and show you what it would look like, so that you have not only this kind of going piece by piece through it, step by step, but also you have an example. So I'm hoping that this is a way that it could be a little more enjoyable, that we could really open up some good discussions this week on contracts and maybe even on case briefing. But if you have any questions, be sure to contact me and we can work through it. I would love to answer your questions. I would love to help you through this. And I really am excited about the second half of the 8-week class, and I hope that you are too. I look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye-bye.